Next question.
Was there anything that you guys had to cut out of the film that you wish had stayed in?
I don't think anything we cut. I think everything we cut. It was because we thought it should not stay in. Yeah, and there were lots of things. There were stuff that we changed on the fly when we were shooting and rewrote. So no, I mean there was nothing that we like had to that we wish we didn't.
Yeah, there's so many like really good nuggets in the film, like characters that don't like side characters that are really interesting without them getting as much screen time as the leads. Like I really was fascinated by Amanda, though we don't know like a ton about her, but also that actress is incredible in everything that I see her in.
Yeah.
But I was thinking a lot about Amanda upon like rewatching it and just what could you give a little bit of insight into that character?
I mean, again, the women in this movie are so torn. Like, Amanda protects them in that moment when she closes the door. And, you know, I think probably something sort of similar must have happened with Marike's mother, because Amanda remembers all of it and she wants to protect her family and protect her sister. So they're complex women. And as is Beth, her Jamie's aunt. Like,
Yeah, and they're both also living the life that Marika might live in a few years. And I think there's like with Amanda, I think there's a bit of like wanting to protect her sister, maybe a bit jealous of her sister's sort of freedom because she's not married, she doesn't have kids yet. And I think there's just like an uneasy sibling protectiveness meets rivalry a little bit.
Yeah, that definitely comes through.
And Dara brought a ton to that and asked all the right questions and really helped fill out that role.
yes.
I was raised Catholic, so I learned a lot about Jehovah's Witnesses that I didn't really know. It's fascinating in its own way. Obviously, you are taking this film to a lot of festivals. Will you have the girls with you, any of the cast, when you take it to festivals? I personally loved the film.
Thank you.
My favorite ones here at Adherence.
Thank you. We were at Tribeca a month ago, and we had the girls with us, and we had most of the cast with us, actually. But I think we'll probably be at quite a few festivals, hopefully, fingers crossed. This is just our third.
Yeah, and you know they typically they don't like pay for everyone to come out. We appreciate when they bring any of us out, but it sort of adds up. But we love having the cast there.
Yeah.
How old are the girls?
In the movie?
Yeah.
17.
I hope that this gets into TIFF. That's what I would like. I'm going into
I don't think he can.
I think because we premiered somewhere else that may not be great for our chances.
It's really unfair.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
Hi, great film. I was just curious to know like what the response has been from like the Jehovah Witness community, if any of them have seen it, if any of them have had this empathy towards the film. Have you seen anything interesting? I don't know.
We've had great response from the ex-Jehovah's Witness community. Let's put it that way. And a lot of people who have left the faith have approached us and talked to us and sent us really meaningful messages. And we were just reviewed on YouTube by a guy named Chris Stuckman, who's an ex-JW himself, and he really had a nice take on the film. But no one from within the faith has yet approached us.
Nope.
And
Likely will not.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, they're not really going to Outfest, you know. Like, so I don't know when it'll enter their world.
And my family members who are still in it have not talked to me in decades, so I haven't been able to tell them about it. They probably wouldn't love it anyway.
Yeah, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I've got a double feature if you don't mind. One, what was going on, if you can answer this, in Marike's mind for that bathroom stall? And then the second is, what I don't know, like what kind of process did you put yourself through when creating these, like the depth of these characters and all the dialogue that we don't see, like the life experience that we didn't experience in this film before
Mhm.
Like we see this
Mhm.
version of them, or this window into their life.
I'm gonna answer the first one.
And I'll do the second one.
What was Marika thinking? What was going on in her brain when she pulled that bathroom stunt? I think she was really trying to stop herself from kissing her, and so she did the next best thing. She needed to be close to her. She needed physically to be near her, but she didn't want to go that extra step. Not for at least another 20 minutes.
As for the second question, I mean, we wrote so many scenes that didn't end up making it into the final script, and talked a lot about, you know, what both their stories and like how did Jean-Francois and Beth meet, and like, you know, we tried to figure out what the backstories were for them. And then I think even in the film itself, there were moments where we just wanted to feel like we were like peeking in at little moments of their life without necessarily setting the whole scene, when they're like, you know, playing the house of cards and like hanging out making bracelets. Like we just wanted to feel like we were just eavesdropping on them, and that they had this life that was like outside the frame. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Thank you so much.
Tegan.
Yes.
I'm curious as to why you placed this film a few decades in the past. You never actually said in the film, I don't think, when this was. But obviously from the technology, it's late 20th century. And is there a particular reason for that? And were there particular things that you thought happened in the movie that wouldn't have been able to happen if it were in the present?
Well, first, Mark and I have no idea what it's like to be a teenager now, and would not want to know. So we really wanted to tap into, you know, our experience of being teenagers, where there was no texting, no, you know, computers and internet, and when you were angsty, you just had to lay in bed staring at the ceiling instead of like going on your phone, which is what we do now when we're sad.
Yeah, we both sort of grew up and were teenagers in the 90s, and like smoking joints and listening to the Cocteau Twins was like both of our experience in a major way, and all the music that Jaime likes in the film. By the way, we made a Spotify playlist of Jamie's mixtape that falls into the water that we will share.
Checking that out.
Yeah. We'll put that on our Twitter account, YCLF_film, and so we were able to really tap into our own lives and experiences, and that's why. And also, we didn't want everyone just to be like on phone and text like appearing on the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which
I think that that's a really great choice, especially just because a lot of directors and writers will, you know, they'll just like peruse Twitter and then they'll try to like piece together dialogue, and it just becomes this whole thing, and it's just like, it's okay to just have a movie set in the past. The past is fine.
we wanted them to go see Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah. I wish I had seen that in the theater.
I did.
So did I.
Anyone else?
Any other cues?
What made you choose Saguenay as a location? Because it's so very rare to see the English community featured in that region.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great question. We wanted to make an English film in Quebec that wasn't set in Montreal, and we wanted to sort of like honor this small town experience. And so we looked for places that, you know, might have like an English high school. Saguenay, I think, had one, and I don't think it was exactly like right there, but like, so we thought it would be sort of interesting to have a story of someone who's an outsider to a community that itself is a bit of an outsider, and we thought that just would like add some layers, and we wanted you to feel that you were in this French-speaking world where there was this little bubble of English people, and so we were looking for places that were true to that, and then also were visually beautiful, and that we hadn't really seen on film as much, you know, that we could like really spend some time filming. So yeah.
Another one, sorry.
Sure.
In my mind, so I guess this is me living in a phantasmagoric world that has been with forever now. In my mind, when Marike said, "Let's take the long road," I felt like it is. She's alluding to how queer people in that time. I'm only 27, so I don't know. Would marry an opposite sex partner and go through this heteronormative life, and then eventually divorce the heteronormative lifestyle itself, not just that opposite sex partner. And then eventually find their way back to somebody that gave them that freedom, that solace, that fulfillment. Is my mind in the right place, or
I mean,
that's a really good line?
it's exactly sort of what we wanted people to think about at the end, because we left it sort of open, and what happens to them is up to you. And the fact that that line said something to you, I love that.
Yeah, I don't think we wrote that line with that intention, but the fact that you read that into it is amazing, and we love that.
I just have to say, I love the Heavenly Creatures poster.
Yes. The movie about two girls who kill their mom to be together.
Yeah.
That's such a great movie, and it hasn't actually been re-released in a while.
I know,
It really
has to
should
be.
be.
No, I had to like find it on eBay. Like I had to
Really?
like peruse.
I
Yeah.
feel like Melanie Linsky becoming popular again. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, it really needs to happen. Well, this has been such a great conversation. This is such a wonderful film, and I also wanted to say real quick that I appreciate how, because like I think like we're moving into the future now where we're doing more representation, but the way in which that we're doing it is kind of like, I think a lot of, especially when it comes to like what kids are going through, is like kind of like sanitized. So I appreciate how sensual the film is without like being exploitative to the girls, and it's like it's very, I think, realistic about its depiction of like sexual desire in adolescence in a way that feels really true and mature, and a lot of films right now could really learn from that. So I just wanted you to know that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Another thing that I was particularly proud of is we don't have a single scene of two men talking to each other.
Reverse back down.
It's beautiful. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you noticed. Oh my gosh.
It wasn't even intentional. We finished and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
No, but then no man talks to another man in this movie. Bravo to us.
5 stars, 5 stars. Well, I thank you so much to Mark, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for hosting such a great Q&A.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
thanks to everyone for the awesome questions.
We love it.
Such a nice Q&A.